Welcome back into Exit 99 Sports. As always, my name is Caleb Deloach, and today, joined by a very special guest, Ms. Angela Fulton, the head coach of the Jackson Lady Indians basketball team. Coach, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so Coach, getting ready for basketball season. For peek behind the camera here at time of recording, it is Sunday before the season starts. What is the feeling? What's the emotion like on this night going into the season?
Honestly, I always say it's like Christmas Eve. Exciting, ready to get into the gym and kind of get rolling. So,
yeah, so it's exciting. Like I said, I've been talking to a few different basketball coaches. I'm getting ready to start putting out some interviews with a bunch of different folks, guys and girls teams. So I'm ready for it. I'm a basketball person at heart. It's football season. I know that kind of dominates, especially at a school like Jackson. But I think I made the joke with another coach I interviewed. It starts getting a little cooler outside. People are like, "Oh, it's football weather." I'm like, I think it's about time to actually go inside, get into the gym, hear the ball bouncing.
I'm with you. I'm not a cold kind of person anyway.
No, yeah,
I like the climate control.
Yeah, I'm an indoor boy as well. So, Coach, before we get into basketball, talking about this season, talk about yourself a little bit here. Get to know you a little bit better. So, before we started, you said you're not from here originally. You are from around the Chicago area. Is that right?
That's right. I'm from northwest suburbs of Chicago.
Okay, so up north there of Chicago, and you, I'm assuming, were an athlete yourself in some capacity back in the day. What all sports did you play even as a kid growing up?
I mean, truth be told, basketball was kind of it.
Yeah.
Then I got to the high school level, and my basketball coach kind of didn't give us a choice. If we didn't do another sport, we had to do cross country. So I was a runner, was actually very decent at it, made it to state.
Nice.
Yeah. And then once basketball season started, it was full force.
Yeah.
But played basketball basically my whole life.
Really? So what got you into coaching then from that point?
Honestly, played basketball up until I went to MOBAP. When I graduated, I kind of didn't know really what to do. My whole identity was basketball.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought maybe stepping away. So I stepped away from coaching for a little bit and got into personal training.
Okay.
And as I was doing that, I was missing that competitive edge that I've always had when I played.
Yeah.
So my college coach contacted me, told me, "Hey, we want you to coach the JV team at MOBAP." Went back there, coached it, and that was it. It was over. Decided that that's what I kind of wanted to do. Went back to school, got my degree in PE, and then, just kind of took off from there.
Mm-hmm.
After I got done with MOBAP, I took a couple years off. I got married.
Mm-hmm.
We had my daughter.
Yep.
So took a couple years off. When she was about 5, I missed it.
Yeah.
So I got back into it.
Time to get back into it?
Got it, yep. One of my good teammates reached out to me. There was a job opening at the junior high at Villa Deschênes.
Okay. Yep.
So that was my first head coaching job, was at Villa.
Nice. And so before that, you're from Chicago, you said. What got you to MOBAP? Was it kind of one of those just crazy chance things in the end, like recruiting goes?
Yeah. I mean, I had multiple offers from colleges, and, my coach, being the guy he was very honest with me and said, you can go D1 and sit, or you can go play. And he knew me well enough to know I was not going to sit.
Like you said, that competitive side, you were like, we get out there.
So I went to MOBAP, right away started varsity and never looked back. I mean, we were very successful. We went to the nationals, NAIA nationals, while I was there. And then my senior year, unfortunately, I tore my ACL. So that was
Really?
it. That's how my career ended. So.
But then, you said, though, you got into coaching, you found that outlet in a different manner there.
Yes, I found that.
Yeah.
Same drive.
And so you're at Villa Deschênes, you're the head coach there. What year was that?
Oh, gosh, that was a while ago. I would say, it was a while.
A while back.
12 now.
So about 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Give or take. So where do you go from there?
From there, my husband had the opportunity to come down this way for a good job.
Okay.
So, he was like, we're going to go. Now, I had no idea, anything really about this area. So he was like, we're going to move to Jackson. So I was like, okay. Applied at Perryville, became the girls' head, or I was at the junior or middle school at Perryville before I got the head coaching job. We had a great season. Took the conference in the middle school, and then that following year, they asked me if I wanted to be the head coach there. Open came open, and I did it. I took it.
Yeah.
So never looked back after that.
So you're at Perryville. I remember you there at Perryville. I've seen your teams play a few times. What then? What led to you ended up coming to Jackson?
Well, I have 2 kids. My daughter is now in the 7th grade, and I have a son who's in 4th. And honestly, being a head coach, being so far away, I missed a lot of their stuff.
Right.
So
your family was here. You lived here. You lived here. Okay.
Yes. So I knew that, missing a lot of their stuff. I've always kind of followed Jackson too.
Yep.
So when the opportunity came, I applied for it, and I knew this is where I wanted to be. So from, be honest, from the get-go.
Yeah. Well, that's really, really cool. I'm glad you're here. It's been fun watching your teams the last few years. So you get to Jackson and you get the opportunity to, lead the program, and also now have your daughter at, I guess, technically one of the lower levels of the program down in 7th grade. What's that like? I mean, I'm sure you've probably coached her and obviously been involved in her basketball journey since she was born, but what's kind of that like now, seeing her, wearing the uniform?
It's actually, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Her whole group we had since basically 1st grade. John Ailes came to me offering to see if Lacey wanted to play on a J-Town team. So that whole group she's with now has pretty much been together since the 1st grade. So seeing them grow and
that's cool.
Yeah, get out there and play. It's just it's surreal.
Yeah, and then I've been keeping up with. I saw the junior high page post their scores. They've been beating people pretty mercilessly. I've seen lately.
Yeah.
One other thing about you that I've seen via social media, you're a Indiana Fever season ticket holder.
Yep.
All right. So how did that come about? Hey.
Well, we follow basketball at my house. And when Caitlin Clark was at Iowa, we really kind of became big fans. But more my kids, my son will never admit it, but he got into it. My daughter and son really, took to watching her. And the opportunity came to where my husband decided before she declared for the draft, he was going to get tickets because he really follows sport.
Yeah.
So he did it. And I mean, we go every chance we can get, and it's just an awesome experience.
Yeah, I was like, that environment looks pretty incredible. What is that like going to the games? It seems nuts there.
It's something that everybody has to experience.
Yeah.
It's just really cool to see the game and just how it hits the kids, and it's just really cool.
Yeah, and with kind of the Caitlin Clark experience, it feels like there's been, a real explosion into like women's basketball at all levels now. Like how, as a, women's basketball coach, kind of how cool has that been, kind of seeing the image elevated over the last few years?
I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's something that, it should have happened sooner. I wish it would have happened sooner, but, it's happening. So, just to see it, and you go to those games and you just see all those little fans, like really just looking up to all those players. It's just, it's really cool.
It is. Yeah. And, I told you whenever you walked in the door, I really tried to beat the drum for your guys' team, especially, this past year. You were unbelievable. You had 2 losses in a season, 30 games. And because you can recognize, good basketball is good basketball, whether it's being played by boys or girls.
Agree.
Yeah. So I, like I said, that definitely helps. I've watched my fair share of good and bad basketball. I have 3 younger sisters. They all played basketball at different levels. And I've seen some of those games that they posted about that your daughter's playing in. And again, some of those 70 to 2 games there, here and there as well.
Yeah.
But no, it's been really, really fun. This last couple years you've been at Jackson. Your team last year was phenomenal. You lost 1 game in the regular season. But the one thing I was really impressed by, early on, was, you put your faith in a lot of really, really young players. You had a bunch of freshmen and sophomores playing big roles on your team. What was that like, just kind of turning the keys over a little bit to a younger group like that?
To me, I don't really, ever see anybody for like their age or how young they are. It's what they, can bring to the table as far as their roles to the team. So, they came in the off season and, just kind of really impressed me. They worked really, really hard, never gave up. And, to me, that was something that stood out. So, I'm a big coach on effort. So if you're putting in the effort and you're coming and giving 110%, I'm gonna give you a chance. So.
Yeah. And we talked about those girls, but how important was having a pretty good senior class, 4 girls that are graduating off this past team that were all important members of the rotation. How important were they also kind of being a balancing between the younger girls, older girls, having that experience to lean on at times?
Honestly, they kind of guided us.
Yeah.
With them having so much experience and going through some stuff, they were kind of helping us through the season. It's a long season, so they knew, the ups, the downs, how to get through it, the emotions that the game can take. So when the younger girls kind of got, emotional or, lost sight of what we were trying to do, they quickly got them back.
Yeah. And I mean, those girls were what you talked about is important to you. They gave effort. They were really tough defensively. They were talented offensively. You had somebody like Cameron Allsdorf who poured in whatever it was in the last game she played in the regular season, 30 something like that. She's super skilled and talented. All of them were, but they were definitely, I feel like, probably a trendsetter as far as the effort you wanted.
They were. They set the tone from the get-go, and they distribute a lot in the season. So honestly, without those seniors, we would have never been as successful as we were.
Yeah, I mean, talking about success, you guys were phenomenal, like we have said a few times now, start to finish. You played in a lot of big games, it felt like. A lot of teams you took on were number 1, number 2 in the state. I mean, looking back, you played, I think, 4 teams that went to the Final Four in their respective classes. What was that like as a coach, just being in all these tight games against really, really good competition?
I love it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what, as far as a coach, that's what you look forward to. We went in every single day like we will starting tomorrow as we take one day at a time.
Yeah.
Never look past an opponent and we prepare. I mean, I will say the girls last year, they really bought into every aspect of, breaking down film to scouting reports to what needs to be done, and it was really cool because on the bus rides, typically girls sleep. So we got to a certain point and they were pulling out scouting reports.
That is cool.
So it was just something that, is very exciting to see.
Yeah.
So when they did that as a coach deep down inside, I would look over at my other coaches. I'm like, we're ready.
Yeah. You knew something was a switch flipped a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, great season last year was the final record, 25-2. So, like we said, a lot of big wins. You played a lot of teams that were super talented. And, we mentioned earlier, you are losing 4 seniors, but you do have a lot of girls who have experience at the varsity level that are going to be coming back. And what is, I guess we'll just start all the way from the beginning of your season ends in early March or late February. What is kind of the process up to this point? What does the whole schedule look like for you guys?
Well, we gave them about a month off.
Okay.
Then we got back into the weight room. We are very big on, we're class 6.
Yep.
So we have to be able to hang and compete physically with class 6 schools.
Right.
So I believe it was beginning of April we got back into the weight room. And then towards the end of April, beginning of May, we got right back into it, almost as if kind of picked up right where we left off, took our weaknesses and tried to work on them to make them our strengths.
Yep.
Had to, it's always hard when you lose a good group of girls. We had to find out kind of our identity a little bit when we lost them. So we worked a little bit on that. Truth be told, these girls have been back in the gym and in the weight room since April, and we have been going 3 days a week.
Cool.
Plus their travel ball. Majority of my girls all play outside of school, so which is nice to see.
Yeah, I was like, what as a high school coach, what's your thoughts on that? How beneficial is it getting playing with different people, different coaches, hearing different voices, being able to respond? What are the kind of the benefits do you think of?
I think that's how you grow as a player.
Yeah.
You learn new things, so I think it's really awesome. And then they get to kind of experience different levels.
Yeah.
And how to adapt to different teammates. Just like when they leave, if they decide to continue their careers, they'll have to do the same in college every year.
Yep.
And kind of the workforce.
Yeah. And so this summer, I know you guys were really busy. I followed along as much as I could of all the different places you guys played at. it's obviously a big part of kind of incorporating a new group of girls together is just getting them out on the court together and just getting out there playing 5-on-5. So where all did you go to? How did all the tournament run for you guys? I saw you played pretty much corner to corner in the state here.
We did. So this first year, we actually got invited to Kansas City at a shootout. We did that in June. It was absolutely awesome. We saw teams from Arkansas all the way up to Nebraska. I mean, everybody was in that area. So it was really kind of neat to compete against different, areas and different schools. We did really well there. Then we went to Lindenwood. Again, got to play some good competition. Incarnate Word, Live for Life, Troy really challenged us on the court. And then we went to Rib City and played there for a little bit. And so we just kind of took this summer.
See a little bit of everybody.
Yeah. Try to get as many games as we could possible before July hit. That way, travel ball can kind of take over, and volleyball. Yeah. We can let the volleyball players go.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of, volleyball and then travel ball, not only do you have a lot of girls that play all over the country for, AAU and different travel teams, you have a lot of multi-sport athletes on the team. That's another part of it. Like, how you find that to be beneficial as a basketball coach as well?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's, awesome. They get to kind of learn, to deal with different situations and, challenge themselves in different ways besides basketball and build different muscle groups. So I think it's phenomenal.
Yeah. And a lot of really, really good multi-sport athletes too. So that doesn't hurt either, going to watch them play some other sports. So in the off season, I know different coaches work on different things, different ways. You don't have to give all the secrets away, but how is kind of, skill development, things like that alongside the weight room, progressed your team over the summer?
I mean, we focused a lot on the little things. We're returning 2 seniors, 2 juniors. So in a coach's head, we're young.
Yeah.
So, a lot of things we kind of broke back down a little bit. So we really kind of just focus on the fundamentals and trying to find our identity with who we lost and adapting to that. So
yeah, and you have a really good group. I guess before we get to the players, looking at your staff, you have any staff changes, any new faces, coaching different levels, things like that?
We still got the same junior high coaches who are phenomenal. On the high school level, we got Coach Martin. So he's joining us. He's junior high boys, and then he's going to join us as the head JV girls.
Okay.
Coach Boone will be joining us as my assistant.
Okay.
So both of them very, very good, very passionate and bought in. So they have been an excellent addition to the coaching staff.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see. I like Braden. I talked to Braden the other day. I could tell, like you said, very passionate. He's very fired up. Him and I talked before a football game for about 30 minutes about the girls basketball team. So
he is.
I'm excited to see, how those guys do. So I guess we can talk a little bit about the team. Like we said, you guys do graduate 4 players. You are still, age-wise pretty young, but a lot of those young girls did get experience last year. As far as, returning starters, players that played a lot, you do bring back a lot out of the starting lineup. Kate Deck, Rachel Berger got started, Lily Watkins, Lauren Dory. Out of those girls that, had a big role this past year, how have you seen, them expand their role, expand their, leadership role, their voice and things like that?
Just kind of stepped up vocally. Again, we have a lot of freshmen coming in, and so it could be nerve-wracking a little bit. So this summer, we kind of challenged the ones who were returning to become more of a leader, be more vocal, and they really did a phenomenal job. So, they kind of guided them. We made points in the season in the summer when we knew we could call timeout, but we told them they were going to lead them through the situation and not call timeouts, and they did a phenomenal job. So I think, they kind of are teaching the young ones what the expectations are and what we do as far as Jackson basketball.
Yeah. Talking about some of the girls, I guess specifically, Kate, I feel like I'm take more of that backcourt leadership role where Cameron at times also was able to kind of shoulder a lot of the load, I think, ball handling, especially in the late in ball games when it might have got hectic at times. Kate's really talented and just starting to show off the court, offers, things like that. Rolling in, once again, only probably just learned how to drive in the last couple months. So
I think she just got her license 2 months ago. So.
We talk about these girls and, talented and adversity they're facing, yada, yada, yada. Last season, it's like some of them were literally like 14 years old. So, a player like Kate, talented, all these different things kind of getting put on her shoulders and expectations, things like that. How can, she grow? What's the next kind of step look like for her, even as a sophomore?
I mean, honestly, this summer and this offseason, I feel like she's grown a lot. She's taken on new roles as far as, the roles that she knew Cameron had. She's filling those. She's one of those players that I couldn't tell you how many times she would go in the gym and tell somebody, hey, come on, let's go. She is driven. And that's the kind of leader you want. Somebody who's going to, bring the others into the gym and really motivate them to be better. So,
yeah. And you have two girls I like a lot who are, really good athletes, good defenders on the wing. Lily Watkins, who is a returning senior, and Rachel Berger, another one of those really good multi-sport athletes as well. I like both the kind of their skill sets. They complement each other with Kate because they do have to be respected from three at times, knock down shots. What does, their growth and then maybe even others out there surrounding her on the perimeter kind of look like, or where, or how's the filling the roles look like for them?
Honestly, this summer, Watkins, we've always told her, she was our quiet little leader.
Yeah.
She made the most noise, but without making any noise.
Yeah.
So this kind of summer, we challenged her to be, more vocal, kind of, and I really felt like she did a great job kind of stepping out of her comfort zone to be that vocal leader.
That's good.
At times, but she's still working on it, but she's doing a phenomenal job. Rachel Berger is I call her engine.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll know when she's in the gym because she's going to be the loudest one and she's going to pump you up.
Good. Somebody's got to be.
Yes. And, she has, honestly, since her freshman year, she really hasn't changed. She's always been that engine for us. So that's something that we feed off of a lot.
Yeah. I like what they bring. I mean, because with your style, the way you guys played this past year, you got after people, you guarded people 94 feet, and that group, especially in the backcourt that's coming back, we're a big part of that. I know Cameron as well. She had ridiculous numbers like deflections and steals, things like that as well up at the front. But, how important is it to have guards that are aggressive, kind of the junkyard dog mentality, if you will, 94 feet defender type girls?
I mean, that's just kind of my style. It's always been.
Yeah.
I was like that at Perryville.
Right.
When they weren't, I kind of taught them this was the way.
Yeah.
And they kind of got, caught on really quickly. So, we're very lucky that our junior high coaches are the same way as far as style and philosophy. So we kind of get them going at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
That way, as they get to high school, it just kind of carries over and we just intensify it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in the front court, you do have, a luxury a lot of people don't have, which is somebody who's very, very tall, really, really athletic in Lauren Dory. Somebody that's really exciting to watch and kind of just think about the ceiling that she has at her height with her skill level, things like that. What does, that's similar to what I asked about Kate, what's kind of that next step for her to look like as far as a basketball player?
Lauren?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. She did phenomenal this summer. We played against some tough competition.
Yeah.
And she did not back down. I was very impressed with how much she stepped up. I mean, this summer really was kind of eye-opening to me to see what Lauren can do.
Yeah.
She was able to finish really well around the rim, hold down. She was our leading rebounder all summer on offense and defense. Physicality-wise, she really... that weight room is starting to pay off. I mean, She was really getting after it, and her footwork for a post player is just something that is just, I mean, it's really rare to see a post player have that good footwork like she does.
Yeah, I mean, she's a really good athlete. We talked about multi-sport girls. She's one of the best as far as volleyball goes. She's a phenomenal player. And that was something, weight room things, what I talked about with Coach Murley a few months ago before their season. And you can tell, like you said, so between all the different sports, it's nice to see kind of that continuity and that belief that getting in the weight room and improving, like you said, you're playing against Class 6 teams. You got to be ready for that. So it is good to see that pay off, especially for a player like Lauren.
Oh, yeah. Hey, her goal, she's close to dunking.
Really?
She can touch the rim. She's up there.
I don't know if I could do that anymore at this point.
When she called us, I didn't believe her until I was like, okay, Lauren.
Let's see it. But yeah, no, I'm really excited for her. Like you said, one thing that, I just wanted to see at some point, once again, we talked about this, like this girl may have I guess she maybe knows how to learn how to drive right now.
They are almost all driving.
We're all getting them driving. Okay.
Yes,
but like, just when I think about what I want to see is just like the game slowing down for her. But once again, like I said, she's still only going to be a sophomore, but having those steps it's really exciting, seeing that aggressiveness. And, it's like you said, I watched online to some of your games. You don't get to see a lot of competition in this immediate area of people her own size, I feel like, which might kind of be a little bit of a detriment maybe, but she did have to match up against some really, really big kid, Incarnate Word.
Yeah.
There's massive people, things like that. So I feel like for a post player of her size, that these games getting out of the area is really important.
Yeah, and what's awesome about her is, she can also score outside.
Yeah.
Her percentage from that little free throw line was unbelievable.
Right.
So, and she'll shoot that 3.
Yeah.
We give her the green light.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, so I saw her knock down a few this past season in games. So, yeah, that definitely helps out in offense when it comes spacing-wise, having a 6-foot-plus girl that can just stop in transition, knock down threes and in the trail spot.
Yep.
As far as other returners go, one girl is very fun from a viewer perspective to watch is Addison Henderson. She feels like kind of the glue girl. Talk about people that are going to dive on the ground and sacrifice their body. It's kind of what the impression I got from her just watching her play. She feels like against a lot of teams she can guard 5 spots, 4 spots, even against good teams. What's kind of her role and what's been like coaching her as well?
She's very coachable.
Yeah.
Always in the gym, always on the work. Her and Kate. I mean, there's not a time when I go into the gym, those two are in there shooting or working on something. With Henderson, her role is going to kind of increase a lot.
Yeah.
And that was something. Unfortunately, she got injured this summer, so she wasn't able to play with us. But as the offseason, once she got back and cleared, she realizes her role is going to be a little different than it was last year.
Yeah.
She's going to take on a little bit more. But honestly, she's ready. So she's exciting to watch.
And lefties are always hard to guard.
Yes, they are.
She's very fun to watch. She goes to the hole. She's a good athlete too as well. I appreciate. So, moving on. One other girl that I watched play for you guys a decent amount this summer, Jayla Smith. I feel like she improved quite a bit over the summer. So feel like her aggressiveness going to the basket, finding her own shot, things like that really ramped up.
Yeah, she had a great summer. We saw some stuff that we were very impressed with. Again, she's one of those players that role's going to have to change. So this summer, her role did change, but she adapted very well, bought into the process, made some big plays, but she's also that leader out there that can kind of calm us down when we get a little excited because we're still a little young, but she works hard, she gets after it, and she can finish for somebody her size, when she's going up against tall players. So it's impressive. Yeah,
I noticed that as well. Yeah, then once again, I mean, you guys have a ton of depth in your program, I feel like. And I mean, the freshman class we talked about that got a lot of playing time, and there's so many girls that were even on JV. Your guys' JV was comedically good at times compared to other people. I watched one game. I'm not going to say against which team it was, but there was one game you guys played, and I watched it back, and it was like 4 minutes into the game before the opposing team even got into the 3-point line, something like that. So you guys have a lot of young girls that are coming up, maybe playing even smaller roles, maybe still going to be on the JV, but who are some other names from last year's freshman or JV that are going to be moving up, maybe having an elevated role, whichever level they're playing at?
I mean, I'll be honest with you, as far as this year goes and who's going to play what level, that's going to be the hard part of my job because they are very good. We got Addison Tate coming back who, played phenomenal. She had a great summer. We've really challenged her this summer to kind of be that vocal leader for the freshmen coming in. She did a phenomenal job. She did things that really kind of opened her eyes. Crooks, another great returner coming for us today. This summer and last season, she did things that really kind of was like, okay, now, she's taking it to the basket. Her shot looked really good over the summer. Defensively, she, picked up her lateral speed, got stronger. So that's another player that we are, excited to bring back. We have Lily Harper, unfortunately.
I know, that's rough.
Yeah.
Is she going to be out for
all season?
All season?
I will tell you, that girl is in the weight room with that team, and she's not slowing down.
Good.
So, kind of losing her is a little bit of a setback, but she's been a great leader, motivating the girls and being a good example.
Yeah, because she's, like you said, it stinks that she's gonna be gone and out for the season. Sucks. It's injuries. This is somewhat of a tangent question. I feel like it could be just across all sports, but is there something there with like you work on weight training wise, like for knees and stuff like that, and young girls? I feel like it's such a bad problem at times, like especially knees, ACLs, and things like that. Young girls.
Our trainer Jake, he does a phenomenal job.
Yeah,
does a lot of injury prevention. Unfortunately, it was a non-contact kind of situation, and those are just fluke things. I mean, you plant wrong sometimes, and the floor could be sticky, and
exactly.
It just kind of doesn't go your way. So, we do a lot of that stuff in hopes that we can prevent it. But there's just some situations that, just end up happening. So,
talking about the injury prevention, that was a big part of, any sport, how successful you're going to be is avoiding injuries. I felt like that was something you guys did. It felt like you stayed pretty healthy most of last season.
I mean, Jake does a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
So, we get after them to make sure that they're doing what they need to do to try to prevent as much injuries as we can. So.
Yeah. And so jumping back in here, I mean, we talked, you got a lot of press. You talked about a lot last season, the freshman class you have that are now going to be sophomores. You have a really good another freshman class that are, incoming freshmen this year. There's a lot of really talented young girls. Kind of, you can just go through that group however you want. That might be, names that maybe we should know, or some different faces you might be seeing up here in JV or maybe at the varsity level.
You're going to be seeing a lot of new faces at the JV level, which is pretty awesome. You have the Abernathy twins, Chloe and Addie. They're coming. We always call them, it's like the movie Double Team. I mean, they are the exact, just like that movie. One's left-handed, one's right-handed. They're phenomenal. They're, they're tall.
Right.
They read each other well. They're very athletic. So you'll be seeing them on the court. You got Bryn Vanderman, who is, I mean, to me, she's a mini little Rachel.
Really?
Just not as loud. So
maybe
she's a phenomenal ball handler. She's quick defensively.
Yeah.
She's like a gnat. The girls get really aggravated when she's playing, which I love.
Yeah.
So you'll be seeing her. Audrey Baker. She is another one that is just, God, that girl just works.
Yeah.
She plays bigger than what she really is. So then you got Audrey and Paisley, who you will always see them together. Great guards, great shooters, bring lots of speed, aggression. So you'll be seeing them as well. I'm sure I'm missing a couple. There's a bunch of them.
Yeah, you're gonna have another busy job, like you said earlier. You have one of the tougher jobs out there, trying to sort through all these talented young kids you got going on.
Yeah, but it's a good problem to have, though.
It is a good problem. And what's it's kind of obviously there's an element of randomness to it, being at a public school, the different classes that come through, things like that. But it feels like the program is really, really strong right now, and there's the depth, top to bottom, all the way down to your daughter's age, feels really, really good right now.
We are working really hard to kind of build up the youth right now. We talked about my daughter doing the J-Town.
Yep.
Well, John Ailes started that, and he, I kind of went to him as like, hey, why don't we create a feeder?
Yeah.
So we kind of got that going in the Cape League, which right now in each grade we have 2 teams.
Cool.
So with 10, so about 20 in each grade. That's our goal, is to kind of keep building it. Just kind of keep teaching. We have a lot of support from the community, parents. So I mean, without that, we would not be that successful. So
yeah, it's exciting. Like you said, that's how you build a program. You see it through all the different programs, and I mean, at the school right now, it feels like it's working from top to bottom as a whole at Jackson. I mean, you guys were phenomenal last season. Volleyball has had back-to-back crazy good season, 30-something wins. Football, undefeated. And it feels like the school and the buy-in, like you said, from the community, it starts because, it is a community buy-in. Having your girls or boys, depending on the sport, showing up to these practices in first grade, second grade, third grade. So it feels like the community buy-in as a whole is really, really at a high right now.
It really is. I mean, it's phenomenal. I love it.
So, you have a lot of talented players. I'm very excited to kind of see who stands out? I'm excited about some of the younger ones, kind of seeing what they can do, the impact they might be able to make. But you guys have challenged yourselves with the schedule. Last season we talked about it, playing the Principias of the world, the Lindbergh tournament. You guys played Francis Howell, MICDS, Donovan won a state title. And that's once again the case. We can kind of look at the schedule here a little bit going into this season. Kind of talk about, I guess, first half to back half of, you jump in immediately. You're playing Hillsborough, who was, I think, a 25. Yeah, they were 25-3 last season. So you guys have really, really challenged yourselves scheduling, it feels like.
Yeah. It's almost something that at the end of last season, I felt like we needed to kind of amp up a little bit, just with the amount of girls we have coming in that are, dedicated and passionate about basketball. And really looking down the road, since we are so young, it's the only way we're going to kind of get to the level we want to get at as we continue to grow.
Right. And then, SEMO conference tournament, I guess we can talk about that briefly here, just kind of look around the SEMO conference. Last year, you guys were very successful in conference. You won the conference tournament by 30-plus points per game each game, and you guys really did a great job playing all the local teams around here and really taking care of business against them in a swift manner. And so looking around the SEMO conference this year, I know there's some people coming in and out, but as a whole, or maybe looking at certain teams individually, how does the SEMO conference look in your opinion coming into the year as a whole?
I mean, you got to come and compete every day. Yeah. I think anybody can get beat on any single day. I think everybody's strong, has their strengths. So, I mean, we're going to prepare, hopefully come prepared and see what happens. Yeah.
There's some talented teams, obviously the one fun player early in the season individually, and that is kind of you just got to prepare for maybe a lot here is Elise Edwards over at Kennett. Talk about a very, very fun 5'0", scored like 5,000 points in her career, something crazy like that. So there's some very talented kids in the SEMO conference for sure. You have to be ready for regardless. And that's something I guess I want to talk about also is trying to avoid, especially for a lot of the returners. I know it's a mindset for you guys, just playing 1,000 miles an hour and being very aggressive coming at people. But how do you kind of avoid that complacency at times where, they did go and beat a lot of teams by 30 this past year around here? How do you kind of keep them from sleepwalking at times in games that they should win?
Honestly, it's easy with this group. Right. There's not any day, we take it, our philosophy is we take it one day at a time and we don't overlook anybody. I stress to them all the time in season, like, if you are not prepared and you don't come to play, you're going to get beat.
Right.
So this group though, honestly, they're just motivated just to be out there. They come every single day at practice. They will fight and battle each other. And I'll be honest with you, we do a lot of practices with the boys. Nice. Because I feel like that's the only way to get better. And Thomas, he's very kind enough to lend us his JV and freshman boys. So, I feel like that also keeps us kind of growing a little bit. We set goals. If we don't hit those goals, the girls know that next day at practice, there's going to be something that we'll have to do, whether it's running, push-ups.
Okay, so like day to day, you set different goals.
We set goals for different days. Yep. Okay. Sometimes if they reach those goals, they don't do finishers in the weight room. So, you got to just kind of keep it competitive. Yeah. Once that everybody loves to compete and win something. So right. You got to just kind of keep that in their head.
Yeah. And once again, jumping back into the schedule, we talked about a lot of opportunities here to compete. One thing, holiday tournament is probably going to be about the similar type field as it was last year, to your knowledge?
I believe so.
Okay. So it was interesting. They had a bigger field this past year. You guys took on St. Vincent. That was your only regular season loss, I believe, right? And so obviously I know your girl's going to be amped up to go back into it and potentially play them again this year. But how was it bouncing back from, a beating like that to a really good St. Vincent team?
I'll be honest with you. The moment I walked into that locker room and I saw their faces, I knew we were going to be okay in the second half of the season. They were upset. And that next day, I walked into the gym. We had a couple days off. And when I walked back into the gym, I had girls messaging me wanting to come in the gym an hour before practice just to get extra work in. So I knew we'd be okay. Our seniors at that time too kind of kept us leveled, explaining. They're like, guys, it's our only loss. Let's learn from it. Let's grow. And so they really kind of helped us get through that and stay motivated on the second half of the season.
Yeah, and then I guess we'll jump into the middle of the schedule. You guys are going to be up at Lindbergh again. As a fan, it was very stressful. That was because you put me through a lot. All right, you put me through a lot. Okay, but no, I couldn't imagine what that was like. I mean, how fun and fulfilling was it? Kind of coming away with wins in those games where you trailed by a ton. You faced some incredible competition. The Jordan Haywood girl is, I think, ranked as the best player in the state of Missouri. Heck of a tournament to get into, and the competition you saw up there.
I mean, it was fun.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's very stressful, but I'll be honest with you, playing in that tournament really kind of opened my eyes to what the team was really capable of doing. You go up against Francis Howell, you go up against, MICDS, and you come out with wins. It kind of opens up your eyes a little bit like, oh my gosh, like we can hang with the best. So I think that really kind of boosted our confidence and got us kind of fired up for, what was ahead. Yeah.
And another game I'm excited to see, you guys will be on the road against Principia this year. Principia, I believe they got second. Yeah, they got second in Class 3. That game last year was a physical, ugly game at times. It was a very, very intense game. It was, I remember what the situation was. I feel like it was like early in the afternoon or something like that.
Yeah, we moved it up because their drive.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was like at 4:00.
Yeah, I just remember I was like, it was just a weird game from the very beginning. But yeah, it was a tough game. I mean, those girls, they have some very, very talented individuals as well. How, I guess, exciting once again is another competition ability just to get a team like that also on the schedule.
I mean, it was awesome to see. Yeah. Just watching that team and how competitive they were, and the fact that we were able to hang with them and execute our game plan against them. So and came up with that win. That was one of those, like, I remember the clock was ticking. We had like 30 seconds left. I looked over at my assistants and I was like, we're gonna win this game.
Yep.
So it was pretty surreal.
Yeah, no, that was another fun game, and a couple others here to talk about, but it feels like, or I assume it is also the case of, there's probably a few of your girls that might have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder at times when they do match up against players that are, considered to be better than them or something like that, ranked higher than them, or have offers maybe that they want or things like that. I feel like that might be a case in this program that you've been kind of alluding to thus far.
Well, when I go over the scouting report, I may, fluff up a few things about players, and it kind of motivates the players to show, hey, I can hang with them, coach.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I felt I could feel that at times too, especially when they're matching up. I mean, like I said, they played. Jordan Haywood is on the U.S. U16 team or something like that, playing all over the world, things like that. And
well, what was awesome about that game is we kind of challenged Kate Deck because they both play in the same program. Yep. So we were like, okay, which one's gonna be? So I think that kind of got Kate going a little bit.
Yeah, no, you can definitely feel it. And another game, I mean, a sour ending here to the matchup, but you guys played at Jorge Zoo. You want to talk about a great team performance as a whole, but another kind of unbelievable Kate Deck type situation there late in the ball game, knocking down 3 free throws with 0 seconds left on the clock to just send it to overtime or whatever, send it to another overtime.
Yeah.
However it went. Yeah, I mean, that was another wild game. And was that a weekend game?
That was a weekend game, yes.
That was another weird timing game. Yeah, you guys keep playing all these good teams at just like bizarre times. Yeah. Just throw off the body clock apparently, but that was an incredible game too. It felt like you guys had kept beating good teams close all season long, and that was just another example of how you guys pulled it out in a different way even that time. Really,
that was stressful.
Yeah,
that was probably one of the most stressful games ever. I honestly remember at one point looking over at my assistants coaches and I told them, I'm like, I don't think we're ever going to get out of this. Like we're going to keep tying this game here.
Yeah.
So very evenly matched two teams at that.
Was that in their actual gym?
No.
That was like a super tiny gym too.
Yeah, we were not prepared. So all the film we got, because there was no huddle camera in that gym. So everybody kept sending us when they played them.
Yeah.
So we walked into that gym and we were like, oh, because we're used to college length court.
Yeah, exactly.
So it kind of played in our favor a little bit.
Yeah, it looked like you were playing in the old gym at the junior high.
Yeah.
What it kind of looked like.
Yeah.
Once again, you guys closed out the season really strong this past year. And, again, you get to face another team, super talented Hazelwood West. That was a ball game, I guess, that we can just talk about last season where it was the last home game, I think, of the year. And it felt like that was the Cameron Allsdorf show to the nth degree.
Man, honestly, as a senior who played varsity all 4 years, that was the best way to kind of finish on your home court.
Yeah.
She came out hot. I'm pretty sure she had like close to 30. I almost want to say she got 30 points.
Yeah, it was 30. It was over 30. I'm very confident, 30 something.
So she came, and I think, I remember her coming off the court at one point, and she goes, "I just felt it." So which was really cool to see. So that was a good way to kind of end regular season and prepare for.
Yeah, and you're going up there this year, and that's another team that I assume if they're all their players are back from last year. I mean, they have a lot of very talented young girls too coming back.
Yeah, they got a solid post player. I know that, can give us fits if we're not ready, but I know Lauren will be ready.
Yeah, and then, you'll be in Class 6, District 1 again, so you'll presumably be seeing a Korezu again, I'm sure. Not the way you wanted to go out, definitely, especially having to see him a second time. And I'm sure once again, like we've talked about multiple times, that motivation being there to maybe do something and try to, take the program to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, and that game ended. It was one of those that I probably went back and watched 100 times, just trying to figure out what our weaknesses were. That kind of got us. That way we can kind of focus on it in the summer. So that's kind of what we based our summer off of, was those 2 losses, going back and forth and just trying to figure out, okay, how can we figure out how not to do this again? So, you hate to lose, but at the same time, it's also how you grow. Right.
Yeah. And then, this program, like you said, is at a very, very good point. You do have a lot of young girls, and just as a team, I guess, just doing your job, being physical is kind of that mentality you guys have. But what is that next step do you guys want to accomplish, or what does that next step look like? And then, what kind of level of buy-in, things like that, does it require to, get over the hump?
I mean, honestly, to us, it was, sitting down, kind of talking over with Jake and the coaches, and just, saying, hey, you know what, like, we need to get more, we got to get stronger. Mm-hmm. So, Jake has done a very good job. We got girls right now that are squatting 225, and, we had a couple college coaches this summer come and look at their numbers, and they said, your girls are lifting way more than what freshmen come in at our level lift. So we're hitting our goals on that. But another growth we want to do is we do play at a fast pace, but we need to learn how to play at a slow pace when teams slow us down. Right. So that was something that we kind of focused on as well, and just kind of telling the girls, like, hey, it's what you do when the lights are off. Mm-hmm. So we have great buy-in with that. We have multiple girls who train, with Fred. I don't know if you know Fred Garman. He's phenomenal. Yeah,
he killed us at Jackson, I think my sophomore year. So I'm familiar.
So we are very blessed and lucky. He comes down. He trains, honestly, girls from junior high up to the high school level. So, just them buying in, freshening up on their skills when the lights are off. And then, when they come to me, I'm the X's and O's kind of person. Mm-hmm. So, kind of taking what they learn with the lights off and putting it together as a team. Yeah. But I think one of the biggest things I watched with both those games that we lost was they slowed us down. Mm-hmm. And that messed us up with how to score and how we weren't a very sharp offensive team. Yeah. So that was something we really kind of knew we had to do. And kind of looking at the program in a whole and how we're going to accomplish that and keep moving forward is, we have a lot of buy-in in the youth level. Right. And at the junior high, our coaches do a phenomenal job at, even, I was laughing because I was watching my daughter the other day, and, they're up by a decent amount, and I still see the coach coaching.
Yep.
She's keeping track of turnover. She's keeping track of how many missed layups, missed rebounds.
Yeah.
I'm holding them accountable on that kind of stuff. So that's the kind of stuff that we're going to have to keep on doing for us to continue to build something special here. And, like I said, we got a lot of support at the school, the communities, and parents. So I'm really confident that we will get to where we want to be.
Yeah. Well, Coach, I'm really excited to see you guys play this year, and talking about support. Why is, I guess, maybe not trying to make it that way, I guess, but the sales pitch of it, why should people come out? Why should people come out and watch you guys play during the week, see this team come and compete?
They're just fun.
Yeah.
They are a good group of girls who are going to work, and they're going to work to the very end. And, I mean, you're going to hear them defensively, you're going to hear them cheer for each other. They are just a great group of girls who have each other's back. And, if you come, you won't be disappointed.
Yeah, exactly. You guys have a good home slate. I echo everything you said. You guys are really, really fun to watch. Like you said, you guys do play fast. You play a really fun style of basketball. You have a lot of girls that are, not only do you play fast and, make things chaotic for the opponent, they're really, really skilled, really, really talented kids too. So, I would say if anybody watching, listening, still get out there, go watch. There's a lot of really, really good home games. You can see teams like Donovan, Jorge Zoo, we talked about. A lot of good teams are going to be coming to the event center, and I hope you guys are able to, win a few more ball games this season.
We're going to do what we can. So we'll go in tomorrow, focus on one day at a time, and just kind of take it from there. So get better each day is our goal.
Yeah, so thank you, Coach, for coming on here with me. And then
thank you for having me.
Thank you to all you guys who watch and listen. Like I said, go out, see this Lady Indians basketball team. They are really, really fun. Have a lot of fun covering them. Have a lot of fun watching all the ball games. Hope to get out and watch a lot more again this year. And thank you once again, watching, listening. I do it for this reason, to get y'all to go out and see these kids play. They're the ones putting in a lot of time, putting in a lot of effort. You're the one putting in a lot of time and a lot of effort preparing for these games, and having a family, all that too. So I really commend you guys, and I'm excited. Once again, just keep saying it over and over again, but I'm excited to watch you guys this year.
I appreciate it.
Well, thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. Always like, subscribe, all that stuff. We'll be closing into basketball season here. We're getting ready to kick off the season. It's exciting. We're into basketball practice officially starting. We're getting cold, so get ready to get in the gym and go watch some round ball. So thank you all as always. We'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.